What up, guys? Welcome back to Instructions for Humanity. I'm always like getting into the mood with some music that sets the tone for the message. Welcome in, everyone. It's such a pleasure to have you in today. I'm going to give you some time to come in here. Oh, oh, sorry, guys. I really got to learn how to work this technology that I have. Sorry about that. So, anyways, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Instructions for Humanity. And I'm going to wait for some of you guys to come in here. Guys, when you come in here, please put a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on all notification bells. Welcome in. Sister Sonia's here. Welcome in. And I'm so excited to be here. Hi, welcome in, Sister Janice. Beautiful session today. Welcome in, guys. Today is very, very important. I need to give you the lowdown about some things happening in the spirit realm. And to be honest with you, I feel like there's already some energetic disturbance because there's so much to catch you guys up on. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I got tired. I am Warrior. Welcome in. Likes on the video, everyone. We need to truly talk because there's so many messages coming in. I'm literally hearing conversations that leaders are having in my ear. And we need to talk about some of these prophetic messages. You know, I'm going to get into some psychic investigation. We need to talk about Charlie Kirk's wife and the weird pictures that she's showing. And there's something interesting going on with her, and I want to build all of this. So come on in. It's it's going to get good. You know me. I'm like I'm fiery, but I'm going to try to slow it down. And to be honest with you, there's another message that Source has been wanting me to give, and I'm just kind of wondering if humanity is really ready for that talk. But in truth, this is why this is all happening. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. This is Tahirah, Mother of the Ages. I am a supernatural quantum healer, a psychic investigator, a ancestral medium. I am a channeler of source. And yeah, all of that, guys, it's a lot to hold. And what I specialize in the most is source codes. What are source codes? It is like that junk DNA. It's the soul. It's the soul, yes, mission that you come in here with. And so essentially, I get key codes all the time, just through different signs throughout life and through client sessions and everywhere. And I use all of this information to crack the code on literally our expansion, because we are here on the earth plane for expansion to evolve past this realm and past this matrix. And I am here to let us know everything that we need to do to break out of the shackles of this paradigm. Okay. I think that I said that. All right, guys, we're about to get into it. And to be honest with you, there's been some foul play. So I'm going to start telling you about some of the prophetic messages. But, you know, I always channel conscious channeling. That's one of the favorite things I do. And what that means is I don't have to go to into trance to get a message like alpha or data or theta, right? I can just stay right here in my conscious mind and channel. And so that may come up today. And yeah, let's get started. So there's been a lot of interesting things happening. First and foremost, I think we've seen now Candace Owens, some videos about her come out that she is actually talking about Israel and talking about how Charlie took money from these, you know, Israeli leaders. And, you know, a few weeks after that, you know, Charlie is no longer here anymore. So you guys know the story, but I think it's very interesting. We've been building upon this template, I think, since last year, but definitely in the past like month. We've been really digging into this Israel template because, in truth, the only way to actually get to this new energy field is if we have to break down all of the paradigms here, all of the old world structures actually have to fall down, and that includes the Israel lie. Okay, so it just goes to show you that literally we're spot on there. We're right spot on there. So now I want to kind of go over a few of the things that I was hearing in my mind's eye, guys. So there's a lot of energetic pollution being put out, and this is what they want it to happen. So in the totality of what happened with Charlie, right? We all know it was a psyop, but the bigger thing is that this thing created a fracture in our reality. And the biggest thing that I love and why I will continue to talk about this, because this is not about Charlie. This is about what was able to happen through his energy and through the energy of his passing. There is a huge fracture in the crack of our reality. And now, when we zone out, humanity's able to look at some of these large templates, the religious template, right? We're looking into the Jacob and Esau template. We're looking into even the templates of God and source. And all of this now is able to be looked at because people are ready for truth, because Charlie's energy caused a fracture within the fabric of our reality. So essentially, Charlie has allowed me to actually get into these templates so that I can take a look and source out the source codes that I need to now plug into the huge mathematical equation that source is, so that we can use that for growth and expansion. So that's how he fits into the work that it is that I do. Now, to be honest with you, a few weeks ago, I was seeing energetic COVID in the air, right? I was seeing black dots of energy. And to me, this is my sign of kind of energetic sewage, right? And so what that means is these little black kind of speckles when I close my eyes. This energetic sewage is essentially the atmosphere of where you live being polluted. And I'm also hearing that it's being colluded. And so this is them purposefully putting out this sort of COVID like energy. And so these energetic bombs that go out, they don't have to materialize in a physical pandemic like how we got COVID. It can now materialize right into deaths like we've seen. It can materialize into, literally into countries fighting, into people fighting, into civil war. So this is what we're experiencing. It's another energetic COVID going on. Now, if we as humanity, if we stay turned down in frequency within our heart space, then we can cause for ourselves the actual physical representation of this energetic COVID that I see. But as of right now, it is playing out how it's playing out, kind of in the air and causing havoc in pockets of our world. And so let's not keep ingesting that so we don't cause and become in alignment with this energetic farce. I don't know what farce means, but I'm hearing farce. So that I think that means lie or whatever. Farce. You guys let me know what that means. So essentially, I want to dive into a few of the things that have I've been hearing in my mind's eye. So these are these prophetic sort of words that are coming to me. So COVID, yes, is one. Hitler is another. And I'm going to tell you where that fits in. I was getting a splitting headache on my left side, and through my automatic writing that I have here, there's still a lot of energy showing up on the left side of the collective soul body. So what we're truly looking at now, I'm conscious channeling. What we're truly looking at is there is a entity that has been exposed that is attached to the greater humanity. And so, what this looks like is possibly this code, this version of humanity is under contract with some sort of entity or deity. And I think I already know who that is, and that is coming. That's coming up. So we need to go ahead and break that soul contract here today. And so, also too, I was at the time I was channeling that I was getting tingles in my left foot. And you guys know another thing I specialize in, of course, is entity removal. I don't know why I didn't mention that. So this is a telltale sign of what I've always been talking about with the Charlie Kirk situation. When we zone out, this is about the collective soul body being anchored down. On one end, it was Charlie being anchored down, but now we zone out, and now it's humanity being anchored into an energy for a purpose. And I think this has something to do with the state of the world and with the Israel lie. Okay. So essentially, I'm getting the vibe that Israel is doing its little witchy brew, bruja, whatever, And it is literally sending out things to affect the collective, to keep us lowered in a certain energy or stagnated from the truth so that we don't go looking under door number two, right? And so the other thing I'm getting, I'm going to save that because I think this has to do with Charlie Kirk's wife, right? There's a prenatal energy coming up for her. We'll go to that in a moment, why that also too may be a psyop, right? Remember what I said, we're in the year of the nine, right? In the year of the nine, this is the season finale of the TV show we've been watching, or the stage play we've been watching for this whole time. And so now all we have to do is literally wait for the ending. Everything is in motion. As you see, it's a whole shit show and everything is falling apart, but it's falling into place all at the same time. So this is what I heard. I heard Israel. I heard one of the leaders from Israel say this: attack the Americans for their liberal bullshit. Attack the Americans for their liberal bullshit. Israel wants revenge because we are too unruly as a people, because Americans can speak still, somewhat, we can speak out. We somewhat still have a freedom of speech here. And they don't like all of the stuff we're doing on social media, how everyone now is talking about them. They're not afraid to talk and point out the obvious, that their whole story and timeline is a lie. And in fact, not only is it a lie I'm building, right? Not only is it a lie, it's actually a demonic kingdom, which, if you were here in the last video, which I saw by the true source, removing it from the kingdom of heaven. This Israel, this, what you have to understand about the energy, and it's not the people. We got to separate the people from the sin. The everyday Israeli person is innocent. The everyday Israeli person is also a victim of this same lie because they're also enslaved. So when I talk about Israel, what we're talking about is the Israel lie that was formed in the spirit. And the Israel lie is the reason why you're in the matrix. And not only are you in the matrix, you're in the matrix as the tail and not the head. And it's all because of them, because they are in contract with the archons. They are in contract with us taking all of these false soul contracts because, like I said before, it's the same group of people reseeding themselves in every different version of humanity, in every timeline in civilization. It's the same energies. And in this timeline, they are the Israelites, apparently, even though the Israelites, as you know it, is the purified 12-strand DNA that every single person has inside of them when they activate and they cleanse, right? And we are going through a purge right now, spiritual purge, something serious. So I just wanted to point that out. So they're saying, attack the Americans. You have to know that they're planning an attack. And I've been channeling this for a while, since last year. Now, here's the interesting thing. I saw someone else unexpected working with them, and it was a man who appeared to be Iranian. He's either Iranian, some form of Middle Eastern, or possibly even Indian, but he may look like he could be Iranian. What you have to know is that these countries that appear to be in conflict, no, it's all farce. It's all stage play to keep us fighting. It's all about money. And these leaders are willing to sell out their own people if it's going to bring in a check, if it's going to uphold the Israel lie. Because even when countries are on the receiving end of it, somehow, some way, guys, there's still certain people in those countries profiting off of the slain of the people in their own country. So he's working with someone. The Israelis are working with someone, and I get a strong Iran. I get a strong Ryan. Ryan. Ooh, Iran. Ryan. Who's Ryan? So anyway, so guys, yeah, someone who's Ryan. Let me know who's Ryan. I need to know who's Ryan, because that's important. That wouldn't have slipped out like that. Ryan must be important. So, is there a country, Ryan, or a town, or anything, just or a person, something like that? Let me keep moving forward. So, this is what you have to know. But at the same time, see, Trump, this man, like him or hate him, this man is smart. You know what I saw President Trump doing? You know, President Trump is in the UK meeting with Charles, right? Charlie, Charles, Charlie, Charles, Charlie, Charles. Yeah. Okay. Fire and brimstone, guys. I've been channeling fire and brimstone for months. Charlie, and I think that means, I'm not sure what that means. It means freedom, but I'm telling you, it's some sort of fire and brimstone energy that he's bringing. And then Trump is in the UK that is talking to Charles right now. And let me tell y'all what they talking about. So I'm eavesdropping from the spirit. I don't know how I can hear all this, but somehow I can. Let me tell you what's going on. See, listen, Trump is like, we got a problem. Charles is like, yeah, I know. I know we got a problem. They both agree and they're asking themselves the question what to do with Israel. Because the thing is, America is in bed with the fake Israel lie, yeah, but America is obligated and has been in a forever contract with the UK, with the Queen. And remember what I said in our earlier channel this year. There's some money that the United States owes Great Britain. And how do they owe them this money, you ask? Well, when America was forming into America and the British, you know, the war, they everyone says, okay, they defeated the British, right? And the British retreated. Well, it was a little more than that. It was more of an agreement to just call a truce. And remember, the uh the victor, right, gets to write history, or that country gets to write history. So America will tell us, oh, yeah, we kicked their butts. We send them packing back to Britain. Not really. They did go, but there was some sort of contract signed. And what it says is America agrees to pay Great Britain a certain amount of money for some of those lands in the original 13 colonies. And for some reason, America is just not very good at managing money, apparently, because they're still in debt to them in some sort of way. Now, I don't know if they took out a secondary loan after they paid it back, but somehow they're still owing them money. So these two have an invested interest. Britain wants their money from America, and America, you know, whatever that original deal was, is in contract. So these two are together, and this is the talks that they're having. Israel lie has been exposed. They can only hold this up for so long. The other issue that we're having is that Israel is deeply rooted into the Rothschilds. The Rothschild is deeply rooted into all of the major crashes that we have. And this is how the Rothschilds, they stay, you know, one of the, I think, original 13 bloodlines that stay in power, because all they do is siphon money back from markets, and they will crash whole economies just to get a dollar, right? So Trump knowing this, you know, of course, Charles knowing this, now we have a problem, because if America goes down and all the different economies go down, then certainly America can't pay the UK. And if America can't pay the UK is already kind of broke. Everybody's broke around here. I don't know what the world is doing. Someone sent me a video and it was saying how all of these countries are broke. It's the same thing I was saying the other day. The whole world is broke. But I still see alliance between Great Britain and the United States. I see an alliance, and sorry that this is long-winded, but you know, someone just doesn't want me to say this, but I will anyway. The thing is, Trump is there talking to Charles. They want a strategic pull out of the Israel lie. But the problem is they have to do it in a way where they totally leave them helpless. They can't leave them with a leg to stand on, no pun intended. They can't leave them like that. Here's the plan. This is what I spiritually see happening. There's some sort of fine dance that Trump is trying to do with the markets, right? Where the Rothschilds or Israeli will try to go one direction in the market, which I think is shorting. I think they will believe that all the other leaders are on board because they're all in on these stuff. They're all stealing from us. America included is stealing from you. Make no mistake about it. Trust no man and no woman. Only trust thyself in this season, year the 9. So, what they're going to do, they're going to change directions. The whole world, all the leaders, they always, even though they appear to be separate, no, they're all making money to keep their kingdom above ours. But this time, Trump is pulling his Trump card, and Trump is moving in silence right now. Trump is meeting with other leaders, getting people in position for the big pullout of Israel. And what it will look like, guys, is this. Trump is going to attack because they're a small nation. Listen at this. They're a very small nation, but yet they have their hands in everything in all these industries around the world. Like the math ain't mathing. So what Trump wants to do is hit them in the pockets. He's going to shift directions with the market where I think they think it's going to be going down because that's the plan, the global plan with the big crash that I spoke of. That's the Rothschilds. That's in the cards for them to do. Trump is going to change directions. And remember, I said he was going to do something that would cause these markets to go way up. I mean, he doesn't mean it to go way up, but the thing is, because he has to pull out of the Israel lie, but he has to do it so that they don't know that it's him and all these other leaders that are coming together in this group. So they're going to do it through market manipulation. And the reason why it has to go way up is so that Israel money and funds can go way down. And that's the other piece to the puzzle that I got. And so the big wave that I keep talking about and other people keep talking about, it will be the reason why it will happen like this is because that is a war against Israel. It is a silent war that they don't know about, but this is what Trump is talking about in the UK right now. And there's other people that will come together to facilitate this. That's what you have to know. But you have to understand that I did hear them say attack the Americans. So there's another group of people and another group of elites that are on the timeline of attack Americans. So it's a fine dance between getting the big wave crashing their plan to bring the market down by exalting the market way up. The more we go up, the more money Israel will lose. The more of these original 13 bloodlines will lose their money. And when they lose their wealth, they lose power. And so this is a plan of what Trump is doing. Like Trump or hate Trump, I will tell you this one thing. I will tell you this one thing, and I know it in my spirit. Trump was sent by source. That is what I know. Just because there are some people sent by source to even cause destruction, because there has to be a falling away of the old paradigm. It's the only way we expand to new earth consciousness and vibration. And like him or hate him, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk lived out his soul contract. He was supposed to be as radical because his energy is what caused this fracture so we can even open up these templates. It helped us see into the Israel lie and template. So we have to understand that in some lifetimes we may play certain roles. And some of you who've had past lives with me, some of y'all lifetimes, boy, y'all mess some stuff up, right? But keep in mind, everything works together for the greater good because we need both energies here. So when we zone out, this is what is going on. Somehow Noah's Ark is involved in this as well. I want to hang that to the side, but Noah's Ark is involved into this. Okay, thank you. It appears so we're going back into this Noah's Ark energy where when you take just the metaphorical Noah's Ark story is where Noah got on the ship with two of every kind because he kept saying it's going to be a flood, it's going to be a flood, but no one believed him. This is kind of the energy that we're going into, but instead of flood, I get fire and brimstone. And fire doesn't mean just fire, but it can be this chaotic energy, which I've been pulling for some time now. And so essentially, what we are looking at is a rescue of the two of every kind. Because when we go into the new world, all of this gets left behind. So we're moving into this metaphorical Noah's Ark, right? And so remember, I said Charlie, through his talking about Israel and the Ep files, he was exposing too much. And Trump was like, I need time, I need time. And he took a huge chunk out of the floorboard of the ship, essentially Noah's Ark. So essentially, even though Charlie thought he was doing the good thing, it was actually destroying a larger operation, which is to save two of every kind so that we can, get out of here when trouble happens, when the fire and brimstone happens, right? So that's the backstory behind that, okay? Um, I do want to tell you guys this, and I'm sorry I gotta blurt it all out because there's kind of a lot of pieces here. Remember when I told you after Charlie passed away, I said, what will they hit us with next? Do you guys remember what I said? I said they may hit us with a Black Death or someone in the Hispanic community or immigrant. Well, they hit us with a Black Death. There was a black boy hung in Mississippi. And that was a few days after, which obviously it was in direct retaliation. And even though he didn't have anything to do with it, but this is the chaotic energy. People just want to take stuff out on anyone. So they already hit us with that. So what they truly want is the race riots. That's how they always, when we're getting too close to goal, when we're getting too close to seeing what they're doing, they have to keep us fighting in the fishbowl. And so they will ignite all of these little fires, right? All of this chaotic energy. And so what they did when the little boy was, not a little boy, but he was young, 19, 20, something like, he was young. He was hung from a tree, right? And so essentially what they want the race war, but we are not giving it to them and they can't figure out why. You know why we're not giving them that? Because I think, in this very powerful year of the nine, even subconsciously, people are understanding the games that they run, the fear bombs that they throw out, and then they hide their hands. And not only that, there's a lot of people who's been evolving. And the thing is, we've been practicing detachment. Yes, it's sad when things happen in the world and in our various communities, but ultimately the only way to transcend this paradigm is to practice detachment and neutrality, right? It's that tool that allows you to coast through situations like this. And so I think we can temper ourselves and practice some neutrality in this moment, which will help us disconnect from their fear bomb and from their spiritual COVID that I see. And so I think, to be honest with you, see this George Soros energy, it's interesting that it's almost given the thing that the Israeli energy. they're all kind of one and the same because these energies have wanted to attack the minds and pollute the minds of America. And it makes you think that if Israel and the people there were so holy, then why is it that they have to pay so much attention to where Americans stand? If you're so important and the chosen ones, why is it that you keep looking over here and what we're doing? Do you guys know where the true Israel is? That I've said this before. Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. They've turned your world upside down. Most of everything we know, actually, everything we've been taught is a lie. Everything. They change the maps, they change the stories. Remember, you don't get to write history. The victors get to write history. You have no way of knowing the truth because it wasn't written. It's never written by the one that loses, you know? Never written by the one at a disadvantage. Let's guess. Where's Israel? Where's the true Israel? Ethiopia? US. Judah is in Utah. So we can look at this, logistically, or we can look at this spiritually. If you look at Utah, they even have names of places that are supposed to be in Israel in Utah. And source told me a long time ago that that was Judah. If you even look at Judah and look at Utah, very similar. And not only to mention that, but the tribe of Judah, who's the tribe of Judah, it's the ones they're calling the African Americans. This is why another message source gave me. This is why I used to work in Hollywood. The Israeli have their hands all over Hollywood, investors in all the sports team, media, films, television studios, you name it. And there's a reason why they do that. One of the main reasons why they do that, they need to keep eyes on this tribe of Judah. Because let me tell you about the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah is kind of one tribe that holds a lot of the codes for all the other tribes. So essentially, when Judah is healed, it literally helps to heal and bring online all the other tribes of Israel because we're holding some very important codes. And also too, these, so to speak, Black Americans were actually very multiracial when you do look into the DNA. So we do hold a lot of the codes, right? And so essentially, this is why they invest. It ain't because they just love the sports and the media so much. No, they have to keep eyes on the true this true tribe, right? That helps a lot of the other tribes come online. Because if this tribe actually comes up in frequency and it's able to operate within its full, autonomy, then everyone's gonna know that they're not the real Israelite. And so that is one of the reasons why they suppress, especially in the sports, with them investing in these sports groups, because they have to keep eyes on these people to keep them, I don't want to even say suppressed, right? Because obviously these people are multimillionaires, but in a way, it's kind of a game that they play. You can give these people a little because if you oppress them too much, what happens? They end up revolting. So you have to give them the illusion of wealth, right? And freedom is what I'm saying. And then you can keep eyes on them because you are in charge of their paycheck. And that's why if they say anything wrong, like that Irving guy, if he starts to reveal too much truth about Israel, then they attack him because they have eyes on him, because essentially they kind of own them, right? And so I say that to say that's what's going on. So, yeah, just look up different places in Utah and you'll notice that a lot of the names of places in Israel is actually Utah has those same places. And it was interesting that that is where, Charlie actually, passed away. So I'm just, pointing that out. I'm not really going to do a deep dive on that. I just want to get this down and then, Source will start to reveal more things to me. So that's what you have to know. And so we have to watch out for the retaliation of Israel wanting to take America's down because of our liberal bullshit, is what I heard them say. I literally heard that. They're pissed that we have awoken and that we can speak on our platforms. They're pissed about that and they have to stop that. So, what could this be, guys? Now, this I'm not channeling, I'm just thinking. Could there be a attack on our internet? Could our internet go down? Could our electricity go down? I think they might be responsible for these 3 days of darkness that we may get. They might be the ones responsible for it. I'm just saying, because what do you do? Remember those movies, Like if you're being exposed in front of the whole world, but the whole world's watching. The only one thing they do is to unplug the electricity so that people stop watching the broadcast. So I truly believe that the 3 day of darkness sort of agenda could be them. I totally do see that as a strong possibility. Now, word salad, guys. I'm so sorry that this video is jumbled, but I think it's important for us to. I'm laying down the codes. I'm laying the foundation down, and then in another video, we'll take little bite-sized pieces. I'm going to come into the comments, but I need to switch gears and I need to tell you guys about something interesting that happened. I want to tell you about the entity that I think that America and us as a whole, humanity is in under contract with. But let me tell you this. Remember that vision I told you I saw two dogs? I saw a brown dog first, and then the brown dog shifted into a black dog, and that dog looked like right in my eyes, like looked into me, right? And I understood it was like the energy of a human, like the energy of Charlie. And this was all happening like in like a vision. Sometimes my visions like it's like they're interactive, like I can see things being animated. Do you know later that day I went to I went on a walk. I went to a walking trail. Why did I run into the same brown dog? And this dog literally just came up to me and we were sharing a moment. Like it was crazy. The owner was looking like, what the what? What the helly? What the heliante? That's what the owner was doing. It was like we were just having this connection. It was weird. It was so weird. And the dog was just jumped up on me and started licking me and like we were having a moment. I found that was strange. Mind you, I've been channeling dogs for the past 3 weeks. Let me tell you what's going on with the dogs as a whole. See, these dogs are coming into their own spiritual gifts during this very important season of the nine. They are actually equipped to draw the energy out, the negative energy out from the owners and from humanity. And they're able to transmute that. However, see, I don't know whoever works with dogs. I see the dogs are holding on to the energy. They're not doing a good job at transmuting it. And literally, I was able to feel the emotions of the owner on the dog. And you may think that's strange, but I have a friend of mine who told me that this happens to him and it's happened to him for some time. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And he's like, no, it's not cool. And then when I experienced that, that's a gift that's coming online. Like apparently I'm like a dog whisperer now, right? And so I could feel the owner's emotions from the dog. And then I went back and told him, oh yeah, that doesn't really feel good because it's like I feel it in my stomach. It's something in my stomach. It doesn't feel good because the dogs are holding on to massive amounts of energy. So if anyone knows how to help dogs transmute this and so they don't hold on to it, that's a sidebar, but it was an event that happened. So I wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. This is all going to be relevant. This video is going to be all over the place. So please, please stay with me because I always make it, I always, it all reveals itself in the end, right? So the entity that I was channeling, that I feel that I feel that this entity could be part of the false Israel. And I was getting the word Marduk, right? And so essentially, guys, to be honest with you, I didn't know much about this guy, but I've channeled him in the past. And I think I channeled it in a video about Israel, but I didn't have time to go to it. Well, this is coming up again. So I think that source is pairing these two together. So Marduk was a supreme god and patron deity of the ancient city of Babylon. So I'm going to read a little bit. I want to because I don't even know much about him. One second. Hmm. He became so powerful that he was often referred to simply as Bel, meaning Lord. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's all making sense now. Enuma Elish. This creation epic tells Marduk's victory over the chaotic sea goddess Tiamat. That's what's channeling her, which established him as the king of gods and the creator of the universe. But you're not, though. That's the thing. You're not. Okay. Okay. Source code's coming through. I had to read this. I had to see this. Okay. Give me a second. My spidey senses is coming to me now. You guys remember when we addressed the original energy of the water energy, which was the feminine presence of source in physicality, which was water. And this energy kind of tricked it to merge with it. And that energy would have been this Yaldabaoth energy, which would essentially turn into the God of the Old Testament, is what people say. I'm not saying that, but a lot of people say that it is the God of the Old Testament, right? Now, this is interesting because I think those primordial waters is also in the vibration of Tiamat. So essentially, what we're looking at was Tiamat being captured and brought into physicality here on the earth plane. And so, what it's saying is in the Enuma Elish, this creation epic tells Marduk's victory. Listen, victory over the chaotic sea goddess, Tiamat. That was that water. If you guys were with me 2 months ago or so, how all of those videos, see, these are the source codes, guys. Everything leads to the next piece to the puzzle. So that water energy that was originally captured by this Yaldabaoth energy was what created matter. And essentially, it created bondage onto the feminine, part of source, which is those waters. And so in this, it's kind of saying Marduk has victory over the chaotic sea. So it's saying literally he has victory, which probably means that what we saw, he had victory. He took her energy to create the earth and possibly even to create the universes. Because the only part I was able to view, we were actually in the year of zero when we saw this happen, and we were in like a heavenly realm. So this now is making sense. So now the pieces to this puzzle is coming together that we started months before Charlie's passing. So Marduk is who has the contract on us. And what it's affecting when we zone out and we look at the collective soul body is it's affecting part of our brain collective brain body, which will be the left side, which is the more masculine side. So the reason why we have all these wars, and so the structure and the rigidity and strategy and all of that, because the feminine codes have been captured and kind of subdued. They're coming back online now. But this is why we've been living in this kind of man's world where there's been so much war and just takeover from different countries and empires and all of that. It's simply because this Marduk god, essentially, we are in some sort of soul contract by default because Mama Tiamat, or these primordial waters, could not stand in her sovereignty because essentially she's been in bondage for this whole time. And I know there's more to the story than that. And this is first time I'm really digging into this Marduk sort of god. But see, these are just pulling the codes, together, right? And so I believe that this Marduk, which is the god over Babylon, because remember, Babylon falls in the end. And I'm tying this to Yaldabaoth. I'm tying this to the fake Israel because if we had a fake God, then we get a fake kingdom that upholds its lie. So Tiamat, the primordial waters, was stolen because she was shackled. There wasn't any balance between feminine and masculine. We get all of this chaotic energy playing out in the world. And I think we've been upholding this lie for a very long time because when we scale everything back, it's bigger than Israel now. The contract is with this deity. And so this is something that our source codes will lead us to go ahead and start to remove its influence and get us free from the soul contract. When we get free from this soul contract, it will make it more easily to eject this lie. And so don't think you cannot make a difference. Look what we just did here. We're hitting them from all angles. They have no idea. They want to come here and think that we're going to like literally take the bait to be fighting against each other. No, we're going to fight them from the spirit world by removing the contract. When we remove the contract, they will start to unravel even more because this is how they're getting power from this God. And I'm starting to get the vibe. I get a lot of those. I'm starting to get the vibe that the Babylon is not necessarily talking about America. The Babylon is talking about the fake Israel. And I don't even know anything about that, but this is just what the energy. This is what the energy is leading me to. Now, some people say, and you can look and see, some people say he's good, some people say he's bad, but honestly, this is what I'm pulling. Maybe I'll explore the good part later, but right now, this is the part that literally has us in this false soul contract where we have a false nation of Israel trying to control us. No, yep. And so Trump is working to systematically in their funding, but in a way where he does it where they don't know something with the markets. And that's when he brings whatever he's going to do to prop it up, that illegal thing, right? Is going to make them lose a lot of money, therefore weakening them. So as Trump weakens them on paper, financially, we're going to be working in the spirit to weaken them in the spirit. And so just know, Israel, you will not win this thing. It's already done. I already know it's already done. It's just a matter of time. That's it. That's all we need is just a little more time. That's what Trump was saying. Remember that reading? And he was talking about Charlie was just, no, we needed more time because this is the play. This is the plan. This is the play. This is the plan. So all we have to do is wait, and we can do our spiritual work to remove this false soul contract, right? Source ain't never lied. Source ain't never lied. Okay. This is a video where I just blurt out everything, all the codes I had for the past few days, and I'll make it more structured in the videos to come. The other thing is I find very interesting. I don't even know if I should tell you guys this. Maybe I'll keep that one back. Okay. Well, I'll just tell you. Interesting enough, so I usually get a lot of source codes when I'm sleeping, and I get a lot of visions, right? A lot of prophecies. Well, I went to bed the other night. I didn't get anything, nothing, but someone I know did. I literally met my sister, and she said, I had a dream last night. And I'm like, really? What happened? And she was like, I don't know. We were somewhere, and there was some sort of closet. And she was like, you just turned around and you started to chase something. And you just opened the closet real fast and you just went full steam ahead. And you started to like chase something. And then she said she started to run after me, but then the door shut. Then she said she opened the door and there was some woman in the closet. And she said the woman looked like she was like had painted skin, like imagine if you were to paint your skin white for Halloween or something, like a ghost or something. Like she had this that kind of paint or face, right? And then she said all of a sudden the woman, because she was like, where's my sister, because I had already went through, like, I just surpassed her because I was, chasing stuff down in the spirit, like, because I'd be chasing these entities down in the spirit, like really doing my work, doing my spiritual work, right? And so when she opened the door, this thing popped up, right? And she was like, where's my sister? Where's my sister? And then the woman started to speak in light language. Now, my sister is very versed at light language and very powerful. And she says that the way that the lady started to speak, it's like what I tell you guys. There is an evil light language, and it will sound very Latin-esque. And because it sounds very sweet to the ear, it's very, very pretty, very sweet to the ear. It sounds very Latin. And the woman started to speak in that kind of light language. And my sister just in an uproar. She just was like, yelling at her and yelling at her and rebuking her. And get this. Now, this is where it's about to get cuckoo for cuckoo mofo puffs. Woo. Do you know that this wicked woman, and I'm calling her an alien witch, because that is what when my sister was, I was like literally seeing this, some sort of alien witch, right? Which is probably why they want to distract us from the three-eye atlas. Interesting. Anywho, do you know what this woman did, this alien witch thing? She said there was all of a sudden some sort of figure of a man that just popped up in the scene. This woman pulled out her hand, her left hand, and in her pinky grew to like this pointy sort of weapon. And she stuck the man in the back of the neck. What did I draw the other day? This was before my sister told me the story. Look, this is what I saw, Charlie. And there was something stabbed in the back of his neck. So, what I think that my sister was viewing was the spiritual hit out. Because, guys, things happen here in physicality, right? But there always is a contract in the spirit first. Things have to come down from the spirit and then materialize into physicality. So I believe what she was seeing was the spiritual hit. And the spiritual hit was done by this sort, I'm going to call her a alien witch, because this is the energy I was getting as my sister was kind of describing it to me. And this is just another one of the goons that Israel has. I told you they got goons in the spirit realm. They got all sorts of ghosts and goblins that do their bidding. These people on earth, they work with dark lords and dark kingdoms and entities and beings. And what these things do is they have a contract to take you out. And they will try to facilitate and shift your paradigm, the energy, shift you, turn instead of turning left, you turn right, and then boom. Like this is what they do. And so that's why when I say pay attention to those negative thought forms, these are literally a separate consciousness trying to lead you away from your source codes. And so essentially, this is what, what my sister was seeing. She was seeing this the spiritual entity that was colluding Charlie's energy field, right? So that was very important just to mention that. Okay. This was like word salad, girl. I had to get all of this out. Oh, Lord, one more thing to get out. And I'll come back and do a proper video, but these are just all the source codes I've gotten in the past, what, 34, 36 hours since I last spoke to you guys. There's something interesting with Charlie's wife. Something very interesting. I'm going to say this. Don't trust her. I'm going to say this. And the reason why I say that is right now is not the time to trust anyone because we're just getting out of illusions. There's so many more illusions they want to put us back into. There is something very weird with her. I found it very distasteful, her posting Charlie's hands. And even though I wasn't a big fan of Charlie's, but yeah, I didn't like that. It turned my stomach when she posted that. To me, it just was not. It was like, look, prove. I'm proving to you that he's gone. I'm proving to you. You don't have to prove anything to us. Just be a mourning wife. That's all you need to do, But I say that to say, I think they want to use her. So don't just be, I know the people who really love Charlie, we want to believe his that she's going to carry on his legacy, right? We want to truly believe that, right? And okay, so I think Charlie's here, girl. I'm getting that pain in my throat. Oh God. Oh, so sorry. Okay. Ooh, my neck's cracking. Listen, listen. There's only one. Oh my God. There's only one of me. That's what I'm hearing. There's only one of me. There could never be a duplicate. Hold on. I think Charlie's here. I think his energy it's popped up. Hold on. Mambua shani. Dikani shinambona karaliha. Himbana kirani hani shambwa ugani shia oa. Kimbaneta karani dambaneta. Lumburu shumbarata kara. Himandire shandi dakanani shumbanirita. I'm hearing there are many memories that I left behind. Many memories that I left behind, like on my desk, like pictures, like, and it gives reference to leaving his family behind. But like the pictures, right? It's not like, it's almost getting the energy of like, you can carry something in your heart and then you can carry something outside of you as well. Like still in a remembrance, but it's like a picture outside sitting on a desk. Like I think that is important to know. Um, what Charlie is saying, like during a time like this, it's hard to see through the fog. And in a way, it's hard for him to see as well. And he's not saying that she did anything per se, but he's making reference to for us to know when you grieve, you're not, you, when you grieve and there's people around you helping you to grieve, you're easily vulnerable and you can easily be swayed or taken advantage of. He's giving reference to his wife in that way. And he's not really saying much, but he's almost separating her from a possible potential act of what she could do. Because when you grieve and there's people around who say that they're helping you grieve, and then there's people around who used to be involved in the business in every aspect, and you look up to them for guidance. And because you're vulnerable, you can easily be put in a situation that maybe you normally would not put yourself in, is kind of where he wants to leave that. But what I'm seeing, to be honest with you, Charlie served a very specific purpose. It's not about now liking anyone or hating anyone. He served the purpose to create the fracture so that we could see clearly into these massive templates of lies, death, and destruction. So, in that regards, I think his wife name is Erica. I'm not sure. But in that regards, there could only be one of me because I was the only one within that soul contract. So essentially, what he's saying is Erica will not be a second me, but he's not saying it in a mean way. He had a specific he had a specific journey. He was a very specific person, a very specific mission. There isn't anyone that could fill that because that was his soul contract. So that he wants to let you know about his wife. So now this is now me talking. You will not get, if you think that she's going to carry his torch to be exactly like what he was doing, that won't happen. That won't happen. And yeah, I will say that won't happen. That won't happen because also too, you have to remember, Charlie took money from the Israel because at that point he was a devout Christian. He thought he was doing the right thing. But then when he started to put all these pieces together, then he realized very quickly that, there was some weird stuff with Israel, right? And so what I'm saying is if Erica, his business is still operating from the same money that from Israel, who do you think she's going to be working for herself? No, because if these people can literally put together a whole team of entities in the spirit to keep us trapped in the matrix, then what will they do? In this situation, as someone who, if they were willing to go out and take Charlie, what will they do here? So, in a way, I think she will be forced into compliance. I think she will be forced to play the game, maybe doing what she can do, but being limited. And of course, like Charlie says, she will be clouded. She would be clouded in her judgment because this is not the time to be making major decisions. It's just a time for grieving and healing. That's it. And so I'm not really going to get into I'm not going to say it's conspiracy. I'm not going to get into did she do it because I want to deliver exactly what he said. I can address that in a later video, but he wants to say exactly what he said. Okay? And so I think those are all the codes that I have now. And then I'm going to like piece these apart to really dig and just delve deeper within all of this because it was a lot of information. And so I'm getting into the comments now. Sorry, guys. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video and all that stuff. My energy, I wanted to be a lot more energetic for you guys, but I think that I think this is part of the message. I I think it's part of the message. Okay, so um I'm I think you guys are talking within these comments. Yep, another okay, so we're going back to okay. Israel is forever. Uh-huh. Spiritual Israel is absolutely forever. Do you know where the other tribes are? Well, all of the tribes live inside of us. But like what I was saying just with the tribe of Judah is that it's more easily to activate a lot of the other tribes simply because we hold a lot of those DNA, simply because we are a very, even though we appear all black, we are very multicultural uh, DNA. So that's why Judah allows for the other tribes to be Israel to be easily more accessible. But the other tribes are all around the world, deep South America. There's also different tribes, not just Judah here. I think there's different. I'm getting Levi is here. But to be honest, they're all over the world. They're scattered everywhere. And to be honest with you, what we can't look. Okay, so here's the thing. On a on a on a micro level, the tribes of Israel, right, could appear to be the melanated people from around the world. Because in this current time of reflection, we are, you know, that's the body that we are currently in. But on a macro, like we're looking back into what, how many thousands of years where we've taken multiple incarnations. So if you were black in one lifetime, you were white in one, you were Indian, you were all this. So essentially, we all have the codes, right? We all have the codes no matter what avatar you find yourself in. It's just that if you just happen to be more melanated in this current on a micro level now, you would be considered, if we were to have the same thinking of back then, Israel. But when you realize that we've all been, it's been thousands of years and we've had many different incarnations. So, and we always come back with a bit with our DNA codes, right? And so essentially, that's why I say on a macro level, everyone's Israel. Israel is nothing more than the purification of the 12 strand DNA. It's our original source code before race, before there was even this thing called humans. We had that source code on Lyra. You know what I mean? We've had it. We've always had it. We just put on different meat suits. That's all we're doing here is putting on different meat suits. And it's very interesting too because um one of my friends, he holds deep codes for the tribe of Benjamin. Deep, I'm talking deep, deep, deep codes, and he's not black. So I'm not saying so. It's still possible that if you find yourself in not a black or melanated body, you could still hold deep codes because the codes are the remembrance. Those are the original source codes, the blueprint. And so it just your soul's journey will lead you to that, right? And so that's what I'll say about that. We're all holding these codes. Okay, there was a false Marduk also. He was portrayed as the bad guy. Okay, so I was tapping into that. Okay. Okay, and Robert Edward Grant, I Am Warrior. Yes, I looked at some of his stuff. I didn't get far, but yes, thinks that the Tower of Babel in Egypt, and he used the architect to make big changes and uncover the lost archaeology. He's not being inferred by the GOV, which is different. Yes. Yes, he's on it. Farsight also did a remote view of the destruction, really, of the Tower of Babel. Yes, so that's the Marduk. I think the Marduk is attached to the Tower of Babel. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Look at what Charlie opened up, the files. Like we talking about real codes here. Charlie was holding some major codes. And to be honest with you, like him or hate him, he went out like a G. He went out on that word that he said. He didn't want to. This wasn't in his soul contract to play this martyr role, but he did, and it opened up all of this that is now just being exposed. It opened all of it up, right? Um, yeah. Trump needs more time. That's why he needs more time. Absolutely. He needed more time because this is so because if Israel finds out what he's planning, then they can retaliate first. So it's a he got to push that button at the right time, not a moment too soon, because he still needs time to get other nations on board, which is what he's doing right now. He's getting other nations on board, and that's why also he didn't show up to Charlie's viewing. Right, he didn't show up because he did not want to appear that he was taking his side because of Israel. So he's playing a game. That's why he wasn't there. Okay. Trump is hanging on. Yep, he hasn't been 100%. He's hanging on. Yes. Boy, is he hanging on. I seen him in visions. He looked tired and worn down, but he's still going. Because, Trump prides himself on being this financial guy. So it's personal to him. The US economy is personal to Trump because he feels like that's his thing. So he can't go out like that. You know what I mean? He's like, no, this is my thing. Like at the very least, we gonna have a good market. So, but he is trying. I see it. I do see it. Um, Days are flying. I don't trust the wife. No, I don't trust her either. But Charlie came through and wanted to be nice about it. But I'm probably gonna go in on a separate video because it was that whole. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie. That pissed me off when she posted that picture of him. It turned my stomach. It wasn't appropriate. It was not appropriate. You don't have to prove to us that he's gone. If you say he's gone, he's gone. And like, why show his hand? It was weird. It was eerie. To be honest, it was creepy. That was creepy. That was creepy AF. I didn't like that. Buffalo Wild Wings. What up? Candace Owens already issued her warning to whoever tries to take Charlie's place. If they try, oh, that's what I'm saying. They're Trust me, guys. They're gonna try to get. That's the first seat. Before they even planned this, they had probably already gotten to Erica. And what I mean, maybe they didn't say anything verbally, but maybe they were just in position as a friend, or even within, I'm getting even within Charlie's camp. They were already implanted in there so that when Charlie passed away, she would naturally just seek counsel from them because they're already working in the business. But these are in fact plants. So there's some cleansing out to do in his company as well. What did Charlie was starting to question Israel? Yes, yes. We could utilize the architect to find the tribes. Yeah. Oh, that would be dope. That would be so dope. Guys, I have to bring so I have a friend, he holds a lot of codes. And I think that, and he has a lot of prophecies for you guys for the market. Like it's crazy the ones that he get. And he has a lot of these codes. And yeah, so I want to have him on the channel soon because there's a lot more perspective to get. It's much larger than we could ever think that it was. Okay, could be Anne. I'm not sure. Was it no? I do know that Charlie was questioning things regarding Israel. Absolutely. He was questioning the government. Yep. Yes, I am warrior. We have to bring the codes online. So I'm actually going to so I my codes, I have a lot of codes in Judah, right? My friend is literally holding very supreme codes for the tribe of Benjamin. So I want to find like because I believe there's key ones of us that hold like the supreme codes of the tribe, and I believe we can find them. I know we can find them because like they're all, the more we bring a few of the tribes together, they all kind of come back, and then we can do activation. And guess what, this actually springs us into the 144,000 frequency. And so we're literally will be standing in 144 angelic force here on the earth. And so when there's a lot of different dark kingdoms that will start to fall down. When that all starts to happen, the true tribes of Israel, our DNA will be activated online, and we'll be standing within the 144,000 angelic force. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yes, and yes, and Charlie was questioning himself. See, people thought too that Charlie didn't have a moral compass, but see, you have to remember Charlie was young when he started all this. Charlie was only 31 when he passed away. And so I think this stuff started off to him as, maybe fun. Maybe, okay, I'm getting into politics. This is kind of social media. I'm young, young people do social media. But then I think it grew into something. And you know how sometimes when you do something and it works, you keep doing it. But then also people started to invest and get behind it. So then you don't really have time to question things because the machine is running. That's why sometimes I take breaks. I'm like, wait, is this truly the direction, But yeah, he was coming into his manhood, and then coming into his manhood, he started to question himself here, the heart. He started to question that. And in good faith, even though they had given him all these millions of dollars, that's kind of impressive that he would still go against them, even though they funded his company. Like, that's kind of, to be honest, that shows me good character. That act. Other things, not so much. But that act, that shows me good character and shows that he's not willing to be bought out for, for a dollar. So that's what I say about that. And I know this was scattered, but I'm kind of just, I had a long day. But I wanted to put these down. And so that way, now I can marinate on this and construct some other source codes from this, guys. Yeah. Yeah, something with that wife. I don't know. Oh, I forgot the last thing. The last thing I saw. Whoo, whoo, whoo. There's a pregnancy. Something with Erica and a pregnancy. Almost forgot. See, they didn't want me. And y'all, this could be a spiritual pregnancy. Whoo! Oh, Lord. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. I was getting pregnancy energy on her. Now, I can't rule out that it's not physical too, but it's definitely a spiritual pregnancy. Here's the thing, guys. This is what it could be. The pregnancy could be from someone else or from Charlie. We won't know because he's passed away. It that could be there's things I don't know what, but I'm just saying could be. So it could be that she's pregnant. Or it could be that she was pregnant and either lost the child or you know what. And it could not have been Charlie's. There is some of that energy, but now see everything's always twofold. I'm zoning out. You see, this dark kingdom, they want her as a birthing person. This is what they do to get us in all these sick contracts. Remember when I tell you that's what they do. They take you in a false soul contract and then they literally contract your wombs. Remember when I was saying how when I went from Maluna into the Assyrian star system, that's essentially what they did. They messed up my star system and they took me and my sister hostage into the Assyrian star system. And and essentially we just been like they use them for like birthing. They use certain wombs to birth. That's what they do. And honestly, this is the vibe I'm picking up with Erica. And it will be a spiritual, it will be some sort of, hers feels more direct, not like taken into a bloodline, but feels, this sounds crazy. It feels like they may want to birth some sort of false like next Messiah, like through her to like keep their lie. It's so weird something I'm seeing with pregnancy, but I am getting a pregnancy. But it feels also too like it could be spiritual. It could be some sort of, or they want to birth her as a Messiah or something. But it's all conflated. It's all like a manipulated energy, right? That is what I am getting. So I I will let you guys know when more of the source codes roll out about that. Because she had been cheating on Charlie. Yeah. Uh huh. Yep. Yep. Could be. Could be. But we'll just have to wait and see. But there's a pregnancy energy around her. There is a pregnancy energy. So either it's a physical birth or she was pregnant by someone else, or they're going to use her to birth something new. And that feels very, very possible. Using her to birth something new, but it will not be of good stature, right? Will not be of good stature. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you guys for being patient with me. And, my brain is a little bit slowed down today, but we got the source codes out. And so now, I think that we can mellow out this energy. And at the end of the day, I see a revival coming. I truly do. I see humanity coming together. Their false flags will not work. It will only make us stronger. I really see light at the end of this tunnel now that we're getting through, all this dense, chaotic energy. And remember the video I did on September 4th, the September energy reading, where I was literally talking about I see Trump passing, but remember, it was Charlie was synced into his energy field. So it was actually Charlie as he was stacked right on top of Trump's energy field. And then also, think I spoke about Israel. I think I spoke about the Israel lie and how chaotic September would be. So, yeah, just goes to show you we're right in alignment with the energy, and we will stay on top of it, and we will get more refined as time goes by. Guys, do me a favor, please. If you go under, like, if you click on instructions for humanity, do me a favor, subscribe to my TikTok and to my other channel at Karmic Justice TV. The reason why I haven't been at Karmic Justice TV is because I don't have enough subscribers yet to go live. It's much easier for me and my lifestyle if I just pop in here and go live, because I don't have to worry about downloads and all the extra stuff you have to do. Is those are too many steps for me right now, because that's like so many different platforms. So please subscribe to those channels. I'm going to start posting on those again, and subscribe to TikTok so I can have enough subscribers to go live as well. So you'll find that underneath the if you click on instructions for humanity more or something like that. But I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. And good to see you again, Buffalo Wild Wings. I missed you. But we got a lot more in store for you guys. Oh, I'm going to be telling you more about this market, this big wave that's coming, y'all. We about to get paid. Come on, Trump, do that illegal thing you about to do. No, I'm just playing. But literally, no, we're going to need this money so that we can, help other people, because there will be some times, some years of darkness. So, there's a windfall. There is a big wave coming. There is that wealth transfer, but it will be short lived. And so we're going to, start to do some more videos to prepare us for that, right? Okay, guys, I love you to the moon and back. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is, as we walk together in divine. Be well. Bye, Margarita. Bye.